What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 100 of my Total Warhammer 3 modded Karl Franz campaign. So as we saw last time, we have taken the Fate Weaver's Crevasse, the former now capital of the forces of Tzeentch, will now be looking to break the faction, as it is one of the last remaining major threats left in the world. They're down to only 27th rank in terms of strength now as well, so we've certainly already done a number on them. Now, between the episodes, I did a bunch of building just to expedite things, and moved all the heroes and whatnot was needed, so we're just ready to go. And we have certainly set up a bunch of battles here, so we're gonna have to pick the fights that are good, especially because we want to try to head towards that endgame scenario, as not much time is left until the next DLC drops, and at that time this campaign will die because the DLC will break everything, as in the update will break everything, so it won't be able to do anything about that. Now, this is obviously not worth Karl fighting, because, well, compared to what he had to deal with Archaon, it's nothing, so we're obviously going to auto-resolve that one, and take the Crystal Spires, and hey, we got another student for ourselves as well. This also now means we can trade the Howling Citadel, but I guess we'll do that next turn. Next up, we have this fight against Baronaire Chimerax, and, well, I should probably do things in order just so I don't forget who's moved, so we'll get to you in a second, Baronaire. But we'll also have to see who exactly when we get to fight you. And Gregor, I believe you were moving up here to try to get this island. You can't quite reach it, but you'll be able to next turn. Wolfram Custerman, yes, you were headed down to help with the Tzeentch, and I guess you can move through this fell cargo to start it off. Let's do that. And then we'll continue our way, I guess, to the Lost Palace. Oh, Captain's Chest. Fantastic. Upkeep reduction and casualty replenishment. It's just High Seas Reef, Maelstrom, and Storm attrition. I was hoping it would count Chaos attrition as well, but oh well. We will suffer attrition here as well, yes? Yeah, we will. So, we have no choice but to land here at the Lost Palace and then proceed this way. I do have to wonder whether Peter can take Volol tracks for us, and it does look like he should be able to. You actually suffer quite a bit of attrition, damn. 22 unit lost? That's pretty crazy. Let me just see here. Where is Holy Decree Unclean Ones is the one that's anti-Warriors of Chaos, Demons of Chaos, and Norska, and frankly this is the only thing that this army is going to fight. However, while this is certainly useful, I'm just wondering whether we'd be better off getting the Reassuring Presence here instead. Frankly, you guys also don't have the ancillaries that would reduce it either, which is also going to be an issue. And I take it you don't have that either. Well, I guess we could start going for Reassuring Presence with you, though your problem is you lack rally and stuff, but these guys wouldn't benefit from it anyway, so probably also not a big deal. Alright, you're going to start moving through Reassuring Presence. We're certainly going to have to fight the Tzeentch in their own territory, as you don't have much of a choice in the matter, so go here. But we care about your attrition much less than we do about Wolfram Custerman, who's the actual main army in here, so yeah. Custerman, alright, fine. I guess we'll go Reassuring Presence first and then Holy Decree Unclean Ones if we still need it by the time we get there. We could also just go half and half. We could do like 20%. Nah, Reassuring Presence. There we go. That's a pretty considerable reduction. We could also add a few of the extra units to you guys. Oh, you have the officer squad now. Fantastic. You get that officer squad, and I take it that you have that as well. We could also start having these guys move through Sigmar's Ward for that extra 10%, or to make them better fighters. Though I think maybe Sigmar's Ward is now the way to go. So. Oh wait, what does remember? Nah, it's only for one defending. Go for Sigmar's Ward, and I guess you will be going for Sigmar's Ward as well, or at the very least, it's fast as you can get to it. You should also have access to Sigmar's Ward. Yes, indeed you do, but you also have access to Retinue Quartermaster, so we could go Organized and into Retinue Quartermaster and then still get value out of Retinue Valet and Retinue Physician. You do have Faith Bastion and Soulfire after all, so the other stuff doesn't matter as much, though I would like to get Benediction. You, Mr. Wizard, I would love to get Sigmar's Ward for you, but you have better choices in getting your actual spells, and frankly, we use Pan's Impenetrable Pelt and Flock of Doom in every single battle. And we're probably still better off getting those, though I would like the miscast chance reduction. You know what, let's do that and then we'll follow it up. Anyway, now these guys up to 147, a little better. And let's just get them a couple of adjutants of the retired adventurer variety. Oh, they're still just so ludicrously expensive, but what can you do? Alright, don't want to spend too much time doing this either, but yeah. Well, from custom, and really every main army that's out here is going to need retired adventurers. Like so, and both of you can have one. Retiree pulled out of retirement. Alright, one, and then the same thing for you, friendo. I went to the wrong thing, retired adventurer, there we go. Alright, now we are at to 152. Alright, that's a lot better than 138 or whatever the heck it was before. Alrighty, who's up next? Let's find those battles. And let's see, Bernhard to Nud has moved. Kurt Haldenstrat. Ah, yes. Okay, so you are going to try to go after Baronaire. Let's see if he's going to be willing to fight. Frankly, if he is, it should be a pretty tough fight. Actually, wait. Now, I was thinking about replacing the Free Company Militia with the Nuln Ironsides. We could also do the same thing with the Outriders if we wanted to. We do have another Borderman available to us as well, but do we need more than two? It's not like they can really fight that well in melee, and nah, you know what, just keep with what you are for now, I think. Especially since we can at least sacrifice the Free Company Militia. But I really like the giant pile of range units that we have here. It's also nice to have a potentially sacrificable unit. Will he fight? He will not fight. Okie dokie. Well then, oh, not only will he not fight, but we can't actually reach him anymore. Well, that's, well, isn't that fascinating? Okay, instead then, you're gonna stay out here, because at the very least, if you're out here, you won't be suffering attrition. We need somebody to go after this Norscan fella, and, well, you can do it. I don't know whether he can run far enough or not. I guess we can find out in a second. And now I'm no longer moving everybody in order, but what can you do? Oh, you've actually moved close to Boris. Oh, you know what? I'd rather Boris fight you anyway. That should be a pretty fun fight. You can go after this then. I take it you won't be able to go back into a camp afterwards, but, well, oh well. Not a big deal. After them, please. And auto-resolve, obviously, because this is not worth fighting. And another Banner of Eternal Flame, always nice. And another Hedge Wizard. I would prefer another Student, but oh well. Oh, you can go into a camp. Fantastic. And then start moving back this way, because you still have to pick up your Treemen. Alright, Boris, I guess you're moving, and, well, Dirk Sido can move in and help you out as well. How much range would this cost? Not that much. And how much range would this cost? Also not that much. Alright, which means we will want to transfer a few units, which I guess will be 4 units of the Wolfkin into Boris's army. And we also still have to replace this guy. We're gonna move both of the armies in. The second one as a support. I don't know whether it'll be super necessary, mind you, but we're gonna do so nonetheless. And Boris, so do we need to level anybody up? Depends how many levels they have. It's just 1 or 2. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, well, you know what? Let's get you Deadly Onslaught, though. I lied. That is kind of a big deal. And when I still haven't decided between these two, I'm still leaning towards the Demigriff to lead the Knights of the White Wolf. I think it makes more sense. Also, you have Faith's Bastion now. We don't need anything else. I guess we could start going through Organized in this. Oh, you have the Weapon Master. So we probably should go through the Armor of Righteousness to get that bolstered attack. Just sort of for thematic purposes, even though I think these, not the spell resistance, but the physical resistance for the army would be better for this particular army, but the leadership would be useless, so Armor of Righteousness instead. And... or do we want Benediction first? It is spell resistance army-wide. But I kind of want bolstered attack as well. Heed Not the Witch gives us plus 40% weapon strength. Damn, how hard can these guys hit? Melee attack plus 20 at a cost of 5 melee defense. So it's actually a slightly superior thing to Wild-Eyed. Kind of neat, actually. I guess we're gonna go for the path of penance rather, first. And then the rest of you can, I believe, go. You should already have plenty of spells, which you do. Is we can get a point in Wissen's Wild form, because we spam that thing all the time. Oh, you were moving towards... No, you were not moving towards. Never mind, I lied. Boris, time to take out Mr. Baronaire. I guess we had one more point left on and the Empire Captain there, but that's fine. This looks like a darn fun fight with all those Chaos Warriors of Khorne of various varieties. This guy's really Khorne focused, and a few spawn of Tzeentch there as well. I wonder if these were spawned by Village or not. Not that it'll matter in a bit.
Council!
Alrighty, here we go. Frankly, a bunch of Chaos Warriors versus the Wolfkin and the Teutogan Guard. Generally speaking, this army is what I really wanted to see out of this army, so I'm pretty happy about this particular approaching contest. That is a lot of Chaos Warriors backed up by a fair few, 5 in fact, unit of spawn, so it should be a fairly interesting fight. We've got our setup, so we have our summoned units in front, including the swords of Ulrich, but as well the great swords and the halberdiers that we get this particular army. It'll be nice to see the swords of Ulrich in action once again as well. And then, of course, they will be followed afterwards by the Karoberg great swords and the Teutogan Guard, who will then be followed by the piles of Wolfkin. We'll keep the Wolfkin in the back rather than bothering to get them around the enemy, mostly so that they can, well, the heavily armored units in front of them can absorb hits, and because we do have a pseudo wall here, so we don't really need to get around the enemy per se. And then same thing here, plus on top of that, our reinforcements with a massive amount of Knights of White Wolf are coming up this mountain pass over here, and we have even more Knights of the White Wolf hidden here to actually get around, such that we don't need to do so with the Wolfkin. Anyway, the little Grom has been trying to fire upon this upon the enemy Demon Prince, Baronaire, Chimerax, but it looks like it doesn't do enough damage for it to be really worthwhile. It's not going to be hitting as hard as a Luminarch or something like that, only taking a little less than doing a little less than 400 damage. So we're not going to waste our time doing more, and the little Grom can instead focus down enemy spawn and such. In the meantime, however, we will have the face-off of Boris versus Demon Prince. Obviously, Boris isn't maxed out in terms of his fighting capabilities, but he does have some nice items and a couple of sources of healing / regeneration, so should still be pretty okay. Looks like Mr. Baronaire has popped up a bunch of his abilities and is hitting for 1.2k weapon strength, but I'm sure he could have used that charge bonus a little bit earlier, but he's generally having a fairly bad time against Boris and is dropping without even activation of the healing potions. While that is happening up in the skies, the swords of Ulrich make it into the fray and start facing off against those Chaos Warriors of Khorne. See if we can watch both things. There we go. Swords of Ulrich fighting, and up in the sky above them, the Demon Prince faces off against Toddbringer. Though probably not for much longer, as the Demon Prince is down to about a quarter of his HP, and it looks like he's about to shatter and run out of leadership and begin his banishment. Alright, great swords fighting all of those units of Chaos Warriors, and I keep getting distracted trying to watch when Baronaire will drop, because I don't want to miss the final blow here. And though of course the battle is nowhere near over, it is for the Demon Prince. Okay, I was hoping that would work on cue, but not quite. It's okay though, he will finally get brought down. didn't fall straight down, fell all the way this way, which was kind of interesting. But anyway, we got some Chaos Warriors of Nurgle over on this side facing off against some not white wolves, the Wolfkin. There are white wolves fighting against the enemy in the center line and on the other flank. However, just helping out both the swords of Ulrich and the Karoberg great swords as well. This army looks so different from our other armies, mostly because we don't really possess these units in anywhere in any other armies, really. But I guess, yeah. I mean, there wasn't really much of a reason to use a bunch of the Ulrichites when we could build the Sigmarite temples. Besides, these two armies are clearly doing what they're supposed to anyway. And we'll now continue getting fights like this, hopefully. Alrighty, looks like the enemy flesh hounds at the very least are out, but the enemy is not quite broken, and bounce power is about 85% in our favor, but the enemy Chaos Warriors are still fighting. 2 Token Guard, Great Swords, and Wolfkin here in the not quite center, right? The center is here, where our Warrior Priest leads against all of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 enemy units. On the other hand, though, this is a, well, I don't quite say clever move by the AI, but the AI managed to move in to block all of our reinforcements, sort of tying them up in the trees here and preventing them from getting around the enemy, which was kind of clever, and certainly not what I was expecting. It even sent the Mirror Guard here, so they're going to be a long while until they get brought down. And this does, of course, prevent all of these units of ours from moving into the fray and helping out the main host, but the same thing goes for the enemy, and their center line is close to buckling. Their flanks have by and large failed, and it looks like the enemy Chaos Warriors will be fleeing the field shortly. We will, of course, still have all of these monstrous infantry, the Chaos Spawn of various kinds to contend with, but they will get brought down over time. Alright, there we go. More Knights of the White Wolf moving in, leading as these Swords of Ulrich follow suit. Looks like this flank is now completely broken, and we should be able to chase down with our White Wolves and our Wolfkin fairly well. Decent amount of armor piercing in this particular army as well, so certainly effective against the Chaos Warriors. But there we go, Boris has joined the fray down here as well, and will be trying to knock out as many of those monstrous infantry units as he can himself. Although he did hover around a little bit instead of directly joining the rest of the combat for a while. Mostly so that our other units could fight. Can't have the Lord doing all the work, after all. Especially in an army where we have a bunch of units that we actually want to see fight. Alrighty, gonna have to run a few units past the enemy Chaos Spawn, though, just to chase down those enemy Chaos Warriors, just so that we don't have to deal with them again. I guess this guy did escape, so technically speaking, we don't actually have to chase them down, as the army will be destroyed regardless, but it's not like our units wouldn't get in each other's way here anyway, so yeah, we may as well get a few units chasing. Alright, last of those Chaos Spawn need to be brought down, and guess who's back? It's Boris to bring down the second last one, and I believe you are the last, friendo. Oh, there was a Chaos Warrior stuck in there as well. And there we go, down goes the last of the monstrous infantry. I'm going to speed this up a little bit while we give chase to the enemy. Once again, not necessary per se, but in the heat of the moment, I forgot that this army had escaped. And thus went ahead and chased it. Alrighty, well, on the bright side, it looks like our Knights of the White Wolf will have taken care of most of these enemies. And now that Boris is all the way up north, he should be able to get a few more contests. Probably not with this faction, to be perfectly frank, as I expect this faction will probably be dead before it recovers a proper stack, but there are other nearby factions that should give us a fight. Anyway, there we go, a decisive victory. Not too much in the way of damage either, and Boris has recovered most of his HP as well after fighting the Demon Prince due to his regen and healing potion. Alrighty, very nice. A battle worthy of episode 100. I would certainly think, and hey, we even killed 1,000 Chaos Warriors on episode 100. I think that that's a sign. And we had 100 winds of magic powers. I'm doing that thing where you see numbers everywhere that match the pattern that you're looking for. Karlberg Greatswords also did fantastic, 26k damage, massively out-damaging most of the units. Various units of the Knights of the White Wolf did fantastic as well. 19k on you, 12k. At least one of the units of Wolfkin got 18k as well. Boris had himself a showdown with that Demon Prince, and afterwards still managed to rack in the damage, but the legendary units won the day, though I suppose that Boris could have done even more damage if he wasn't so busy with the enemy lord, and he did hover around a little while the Swords of Ulrich did their thing. Anyway, everybody that we wanted to get some playtime got some playtime there, so I'm certainly happy with the result. And diplomatic relations with Kislev plus 25, fantastic, not that we really needed it. And attrition reduction, eh? That would be swell on the rest of our lords, at least while we wait for the rest of the adjutants. Dawnstone, Outrider, another student, there we go, 2 other students in fact. Dirk Sido, you can just keep that blade, mostly because we don't really need it, I think, in the sense that you're going to be deleted and replaced with another lord in a turn, although I do like the basic training that you have, and I do like the fact that you're a Grand Master. I mean, you could get one at rank 15 if we wanted to. On the other hand, well, it doesn't change matters. Keep it for now. He has been around with us for a while, and level 12 isn't so far away from level 15 after all. Anyway, I guess the question is, can we land at the Bilious Cliffs, and I guess perhaps more importantly, should we? This turn, I mean. I guess the question is, can you heal at the Monolith of Flesh? Because if you can, we're probably better off allowing Boris to heal to full and then hitting the Monolith. Yeah, it looks like we can. So you know what, you don't need to heal as much because your army isn't really damaged. Boris, you go to the Monolith of Flesh, we'll go for the Bilious Cliffs next turn and then start moving. Alright, fantastic, and you will heal not quite to full, but nearly so, and that's certainly enough for our purposes. Alrighty, who needs to move next? Helmut Feuerbach, you are going to march stance or full speed stance your way to the Galleon's graveyard. We gotta knock Noctilus out before he comes back and annoys us in our southern territories. The concept is just too annoying, so you two will be taking him out shortly. Alright, Balthazar Gelt, I do believe you have a fight with Imrik, though I'm not actually sure whether it's actually worth fighting. We'll have to see whether he has a proper army down there or not. Especially considering that Balthi just destroyed an elven stack that was much greater than the one that Imrik currently has, unless I'm mistaken, or at the very least, by the looks of it. Although he does have a 3/4 stack. Can't actually see what's in the stack, mind you. Oh, and Balthazar is hurt, but is he so hurt that this is concerning? Probably not. Let's see what we're looking at. Alright, we do have some troops, and it'll be a close victory, but we could auto-resolve this. Honestly, I don't think they have a chance. I think they just get absolutely obliterated by artillery from a distance, and the fact that they're all tired due to being in battle march will make it so that they definitely have no chance. I'll think about this. We'll see what else, what other options we have in this particular turn, and then continue on that basis. Aldebras Meyer, you need to go into encamp stance. I guess we could move you towards Nagashazar. I don't actually care about Nagashazar at all. But, if we take Bitter Bay and the desolation of Nagash, I mean, if anything, we would want Gelt to attack Nagashazar, not this little follower army. So, follower army, go follow Gelt as you're supposed to do. And I guess Fairy also doesn't really need to be out here anymore. You know, just go into March Dance and follow Aldebross. I don't even care if you suffer a little bit of attrition. Alright, Balthy, stay there. And how close are we to destroying these elves for good? Not quite there yet. This would be nice if these guys took Black Carmine, although I suppose we could take all this, trade it to ourselves, and trade it back to Karak Azul for other stuff. I'm sure there will be other stuff that we may want to trade. Like this Deaf Gorge province, or the Barrier Idols province, mostly because it's a red territory, and yeah, we do have iron here, but do we care that much this late into the game? I don't think so. Marcus Wolfhart, you are waiting for Rakarth to come around. I don't see him yet, but I guess you can start slowly making your way down to the Chamber of Visions. Maybe we'll spot Rakarth by then. Everybody else around here, however, has to continue recruiting. You're at the Pillars of the Unseen Constellation Zone. I guess we can't stop recruiting. Oh, and that also reminds me. Yeah, you guys keep building up your armies, but we will send, I guess, you, Colt Ludenhoff, to the Temple of Kara, and Bruno Graber stay here at the High Sentinel. And then Marathi can't land. Or if she can't land in our territory. Maybe she'll try our friends in Mordello. Bruno Graber. Why did I build a tier 3 barracks here instead of here? Oh, because of the iron. Yeah, fair enough. It's a military territory anyway. What we can do with this territory, though, is get rid of 4 pikes like so, and replace 4 pikes with 4 war wagons. Alright, speaking of war wagons, we'll probably want to recruit a few more on Henry Albrecht, especially because we have no ability really to take the Monolith of Catan with the current army in Gavin Pfeiffer's possession. Alrighty, who's up next? That was Balthazar Gelt, but we'll keep him locked in place for now. Kurt Lehman. I had started to build stuff in case these guys attacked us, but it looks like they're not. But I'm not going to delete this just in case. It's not like we have any money problems right now. Kurt Hellborg, I was hoping you'd be able to attack the Pillar of Skulls, but it looks like it's not possible, so you're going to break the siege.
I will marshal the men.
And then, Kurt, you are going to be the one to attack Karak Doom, and I guess you're going to go into Trencher's stance as well. The question is, what do we have in terms of defenders there? It is... we could fight it, but honestly, I feel like the Balthazar Gelt fight is probably worth more than this, especially since Kurt Hellborg's army is basically just a shadow of Karl's army, so we've seen essentially nearly an identical force in action. Well, maybe not identical, but a similar force in action already. Yeah, I think we'll just take you out like this. Yeah, see, and we barely even got damage. Got a free armor of meteoric iron, no armor of destiny perhaps, but not a bad pickup. And apprentice wizard, no new students unfortunately, a bunch of armors as well. You can keep hold of the armor of meteoric iron for now. I may swap that out to a armor of destiny later on, closer to the end game, once we know what the end game is. And I guess you can stay here and heal. You can lose the armor because you're actually going to be deleted as soon as we... Wait, spawn killer. Huh, you have the Mazdamundi defeat trade, eh? Not horrible. But probably not worthy of keeping you around. Either way, it looks like Clan Ferric will be dead next turn. They'll be able to trade all this to our Kislefite allies, to the Ursun Revivalists, and on top of that, start trading this stuff to our Dwarfen allies, because we only kept this so that we were the ones defending against anybody coming in from the north. We're a good little shield of civilization, friendos, and we do right by our friendos. Anyway, let's continue. Who else do we have? Gavin, I've already... Well, we don't need to move you. Jamathius Warner. Ah, yes, you're supposed to trade stuff, aren't you? Alright, trade away. Now, this stuff is obviously going to get transferred to your army. 26. Okay, so we have a few too many somethings. The question is, what's? We probably don't need the mortars here at all because we have the 2 Hellstorm rocket batteries and the Black Lions Hellblasters, which gives us 3 spaces. We could take out a couple of halberdiers and just keep them... Ah, damn, I don't remember who shares the... who shares traits at this point. You know what? Take away these guys. And yes, I know that they're with Sigmarite disciples. I just want to see something. So currently, Emperor's Finest buffs Swordsman. Oh, it buffs Flagellants and Halberdiers. It doesn't. We don't get anything out of Honest Steel, which would only buff Great Swords. So I guess we could take away the Great Swords. And then put these guys back. I kind of don't like the idea of there being 3 of them. And also, is buffed Flagellants actually better than having Great Swords? I'm not sure about that either. You know what? Well, put 3 of them back anyway. Or, wait, put 1 of them back? We'd be better off just building a Great Sword, a single Great Sword. And again, we do have other Great Swords. Honestly, it probably doesn't even matter. You can go into the Sorcerer's Islands and stay there until I decide exactly what I want from this. This army isn't supposed to move anyway, it's just supposed to stay here in case somebody comes back to the coastline. I just wanted to make sure that it was a full army in case. Anyway, anybody else? So, Champion Ludwig Schwarzhelm, we've moved you. Who is Leopold von Blount? Oh yes, you. Wait, did I skip somebody? That was Boris, Jamathius Warner. Okay, no, I did not. I did not. This was exactly who we needed to move next. Now, I believe we were chasing down Village last time, and I believe his army was kind of weak and pathetic, so we can auto-resolve it unless I'm mistaken. Oh, I should have changed your stance, but I also guess it doesn't matter that much. And yeah, there's no need to fight this. This is just garbage. We've already heavily damaged his faction, far too much for him to be worth our time. Damn, the auto-resolve does really hurt our war wagons, though. Treasury, I guess. Not that we really need the money all that much. But I guess while we are in materials at sea, we can still make use of it. And hey, you got that campaign movement range. Are you able to go into encamp stance? Yes. Let's pop you into that. Unfortunately, Nud will suffer attrition, but you can then take Dragon's Death, retake it for our friends, and then Nud can move southward towards the Volary over the next couple turns. Scribe? Can keep the Scribe. Can keep the Scribe, and you, however, will not keep the armor and stuff because you're just a temporary lord. Alright, now we need to head Nud down to Grimgor to finish this faction off. Once again, we shouldn't have left that one settlement. I was thinking, oh look, they have one settlement and it isn't even a good defended settlement, and these guys have all of this, and they still failed to kill him off, but I'm still 100% convinced that that's just the AI. Like, the AI's programming not to kill off factions. Maybe it's just legendary factions that are programmed in such a way. Frankly, I'm not a big fan of the concept, but oh well. Leopold van Blount, that was the one that we moved last. Albrecht Haupt Anderson, you're gonna head down to the Port of Secrets. I don't know whether you can auto-kill it. How much you're gonna give it a try. And Maternus, you're supposed to follow, but you can't reach it right now. Or can you? Let's see, you. Our war wagons will take. Yeah, auto-resolve doesn't like the war wagons, fair enough. So now I guess the question is, if Maternus moves in here, what about a regular stance? No, what about march stance? Wait, his regular stance moves as far as his march stance moves? He's at max movement range then. Okay, well that's a shame, but can't do anything about that. What if we move closer? Okay, I guess you can just hope that the enemy sallies out. And if they do, then we'll fight it in the field, and if they don't, we'll just kill them next turn. Wulfric and Berogan, you're supposed to actually just hold territories. For now, you're not super necessary. It looks like your march stance can actually go further. Yeah, wait. Could you land here beside this thing? Like, right... Can you not land? Please tell me you can land. Like, right there. This is a temporary army as well, but if we can use it to break this little tiny port without taking damage, yes, we can. Fantastic, and... I really think that they need to rework how auto-resolve handles chariots. There used to be an issue in vanilla where auto-resolve kept killing your artillery, but now it's just doing this to chariots, so have they really fixed anything in that regard? Only one aspect of it, I guess, but, well, you can't expect too much from the auto-resolve because, well, you never ever could. It's just part of the Total War experience at this point in time. Are you able to go back out to sea? And I guess the question is, do we actually want you to go out to sea? Wait. You heal here. Would you heal at sea, is the question. You actually heal more at sea. But you can't go back. Well, I guess you stay here anyway. And if they have a full stack there and you die, frankly, I don't care that much. Just out of curiosity, you're not able to go into stance shift, so you're good. Alrighty, so that was Materna's Didison and a few of the other armies. Let's see who else needs to move. Looks like it's a long turn, but we had a lot of armies that actually needed to accomplish something. Hans von Sigurd, you are... Okay, you're not the one recruiting, but the others are recruiting, which is fine. Simon Moasher, you, I believe, had a Skull Island in view. Yes, yes, you did. And let's head you down there and keep moving down southward towards those filthy, filthy Tzeentchins. Not as filthy as Slaaneshi, perhaps, but worse in so many ways. Auto-resolve this is not worth our time, and damn, that hurt a lot. The auto-resolve, it really doesn't like some of our armies. Which is interesting, because this army feels like it would have handled that without issue. But not that it's super important. Outrider, and we got more treasury and a gleaming pennant. I would like you then to go into march stance and land somewhere where you won't suffer attrition. I want to heal up in friendly territory. Mangrove Coast is neutral. Mangrove Coast is neutral. Yeah, we need to go into friendly territory. Alright, fine. Land right here. I'm going to hope that we can heal. Yes, we can. Alright, so we'll be back up to full health in 2 turns, and it looks like we should be able to reach the Dusk Peaks in 2 turns, and then on to the Citadel of Dusk. Might actually be worth a fight, and then once these guys are dead here, we'll either sail down to help, or start looping around and hitting Rakarth from both sides. Slaaneshi giggle, even though, well, frankly, I don't really care that much about Rakarth at this point in the game, but, you know, and if there's fun battles to be had, then there's fun battles to be had, and that's the reason we play the game. You go down here and follow everybody. Mr. Dog Burglar. Steal a few dogs on the way, I'll give them pets for you. Leopold, you are the last, I believe, of whoever needed to move, yes? Wait, Leopold was after Simon? Huh. What the heck is Simon? Oh, wait, Simon's right there, and the rest are just recruiting. Oh, that's why. Okay, okay, okay. We just have so darn many armies that it's starting to get confusing. What are we in terms of wizard capacity, though? I do want to see that before we go. We're 23 out of 23. Yeah, looks like we need more wizards. Let's then have ourselves another fight. This is the 100th episode after all, and I would be remiss if I were to not have more than one battle at such a time. So, I would love you to get Mentor, but I think Mighty Forge into Rally, because we do have a lot of... Really? Gelt doesn't have Greater Arcane Conduit? He should really have Greater Arcane Conduit, considering so many lords do. He feels like a Greater Arcane Conduit kind of guy to me. Does he not to you? But no. And not that it'll make much of a difference, mind you. Armor for infantry, excluding greatswords. Cool, but you're probably not going to have all that much in the way of infantry. I guess we'll want to get We Are the Elite for you, though. Not that it's a lot of armor. And frankly, once again, to the artillery pieces, it won't make much of a difference. Or we can just keep making you into Gelt's strong fighter. Sigmar's Ward might be a decent choice. Casualty, attrition as well, but probably after we get Scarred Veteran and we make... Oh, you know what? Melee defense for accompanying Lord out of Officer. It's a little buff, but you know what? Gelt does need the extra melee defense. He isn't the strongest melee fighter after all. Enemy spell resistance, deny the heretic, yes please. And fire resistance for Lord's army. Well, I guess we want to go into bolstered leadership, but afterwards I guess we can move into organized. We have Faith's Bastion, and while I do want Benediction, I feel like there are better choices, or at the very least the path to them is better. Let's get Heart of the Griffin for you, and then on to bolstered leadership. Right after Gelty, time to destroy... Well, just the one dragon, but it is Meneathnir after all, the biggest of all star dragons, so it's still a pretty darn good target to test out all of your artillery on.
By Ulrich's will!
We must be triumphant!
Alrighty, well, we must be triumphant apparently, so I guess, well, I guess we will be. No choice in the matter, apparently. Anyway, here we go. Once again, Gelt's artillery are going to show, Imrik's elves the way of gunpowder. And we are going to start off by absolutely obliterating the poor crews of the enemy Eagle Claw bolt throwers. Also, Gelt is going to cast a few things, a Searing Doom to come down on the second crew of bolt throwers, while a Gehenna's Golden Hounds joyfully prances around in the middle of a formation of enemy archers. There is also Imrik himself to consider. He's taken a few hits already by the looks of it. I do believe he's too far out to be hit by the Hellblasters, but he is close enough for the Luminarchs to take shots at him, though they did take a few hits themselves. This one's lost about 25% HP, I believe, from the enemy Eagle Claws, though they won't be doing anything else. Anyway, looks like the enemy is moving now close enough to those Hellblasters, and they're going to start wreaking havoc in the lines of enemy white lines, though to be fair, so are the regular rocket batteries as well. I don't know why I call them regular rocket batteries here. Mostly because we had them throughout the game, and the Hellblasters are sort of a new, late-game addition. Does look like the enemy is trying to get around us and flank us with those Illyrian Reavers, as well as those Dragon Princes, but they ultimately fail trying to get through those Eldred's Guard. And the steam tanks, we don't actually have a lot of artillery support on this side, though this one unit of cannons is doing a good job, at least slightly damaging those Dragon Princes. 11 kills, not so bad considering the unit that it is targeting. We did catch some eagles over here as our Empire Captain is working together with Gelt, has seen them off, and then over on this side, enemy Frostheart Phoenix is facing off against our units of Pegasus Knights. That said, the Illyrian Reaver archers here are hitting the Pegasus Knights in the back while they try to go after the Phoenix, so that ain't great. Imrik is also flying around trying to catch Gelt or, achieve something, but now he's unfortunately close enough for at least a couple of the Hellblasters to focus him together with our Luminarchs, and he is down to about a third of his HP. Looking pretty ugly for him, and frankly, most of his army has still not really gotten into combat. Imrik's now trying to run as the Hellblasters and the Luminarchs continue to fire upon him, and there we go, more and more hits, and it looks like the Hellblasters will finally bring him down. Every time we get a battle with the Hellblasters now, I just keep thinking, how are the cannons bad at everything, and how are the Hellblasters good at everything?
They are using dark forces against
Once again, I get that they're a tier 5, but still, damn. A very nice artillery piece. Anyway, looks like the enemy army is in very bad shape now. Only 2.5 minutes into the battle, it looks like the battle will be ours very quickly. We did suspect that this would not be a long battle, to be fair, so it shouldn't be surprising. We've also taken care of those Illyrian Reaver archers to pay back all the damage on our Pegasus Knights. More Illyrian Reavers are trying to move towards us here, and it'll be Reaver archers versus Outriders with grenade launchers. Now you gotta give it to the grenade launchers in this particular situation. Both units, of course, are fragile, but I think we dish out more damage, and there's 2 units versus 1. Well, actually, it was 2 versus 2, but not anymore. Anyway, here comes another Searing Doom from Gelt on this flank where the Eldred's Guard are trying to hold, and, well, succeeding, I should say, at holding. Probably could have helped out with the steam tank a little bit, but didn't need to, and I wanted to keep it back in case the enemy Dragon Princes tried to charge, but ultimately they fail as well, and only take parting shots from that steam tank's cannon. And there we go. It looks like with that, the rest of the army will shatter, most of them never having reached our battle lines, and as we can see, most of our Eldred's Guard are relatively undamaged. This one didn't even get into combat. This one, however, did have to... No, wait, that was the Halberdiers. This is the Eldred's Guard, and while this one did get into combat, it didn't take a lot of damage, considering what it started with. Yeah. Alrighty, yeah, I'm really enjoying Gelt's army. I was earlier thinking that we should replace all of those Eldred's Guard with more steam tanks, and we could very well do that. But at the end of the day, this army is at this point very strong, or I should say strong enough not to really need the extra steam tanks, even if the addition would be nice. Anyway, let's see the damage. Alrighty, very nice. That went about as expected. Once again, the frickin' Luminarchs take the most damage, followed by the Pegasus Knights, and that's been about true for pretty much every single battle with Gelt's army. Still warrants a replacement to the Pegasus Knights, and I still need to be more careful, even more careful, I should say, with those Luminarchs. But otherwise, we've defeated Imrik yet again. Poor guy did not achieve anything himself, as he and Menaethner got knocked out of the sky by our artillery and Luminarchs. Occupy the place, I guess, though we obviously won't be keeping it because we have no need for it. Perfect vigor for Gelty. I actually didn't realize that he hadn't had it. Another couple students by the looks of it. Burger is always nice. Scribe, a light college acolyte. Why not? Ally mission successful, Vidrioth. Good. I did not know that we had a mission. Ally for Vidrioth, I mean. But yeah, there we go. Bitter Bay, don't collect that income. Just trade yourself to these guys, and then we'll either head to Nagashazar just for fun, or well, we can always head back to Nagashazar after we deal with all this. There is still a lot of stuff out here, and that we need to deal with, and Gelt's army is really the only army out here, so he'll be the one to deal with it, especially before these guys can recover. Anyway, I believe that was that in terms of movement, so we got two things. Thing the first, we reselect Manorialism, and then I guess we end the turn, yes? 9,000 gold per turn in Reikland. Damn, that's a lot. I think we had it up over 10k when we did something, but I don't remember what it was. Not that it's going to make too much of a difference right now. I'm hoping I'm not forgetting anything, but if I am, well, it's too late for it now. Unassigned skill points here, non-moved, building upgrade available, Lord not moved, outpost available. Who's up? Oh, this. Ah, damn it. And I spent a couple of episodes not getting tricked by that, too. We could build the... Oh, do we actually want to waste money on the upgrades of those, though? I think not. I do want to upgrade yours, because that one's at least relatively new, even if it doesn't, I think, still have access to the stuff we want. Oh! We actually have Royal Pegasus Knight access from you, which we haven't had from Bretonnia as the main Bretonian faction for ages. We just need allegiance. I'm willing to bet those Royal Pegasus Knights cost like 80 allegiance for something absolutely ridiculous. In fact, I'm actually curious to find out before we end the turn. Bruno Grabber. Switch to Wardlow Errant, and the Royal Pegasus Knights cost us 66. Okay, so we're halfway there. 73 on the Royal Hippogriff Knights instead, if we want to get to those guys. And actually, just to double check, Karun, because we have 98 with them. And that still don't have access. Damn it, Karun, what are you doing? You've been one of our allies since the beginning of the game. And Carcassonne, I guess, is probably the same way. Yeah. Man, all the good stuff has been locked away, and neither of our allies has any of the good stuff. And the same thing goes for the Terracotta Sentinels from the Cathans. Man, disappointing, but oh well. Let's hope that upon this end turn, Oracles of Tzeentch doing their thing, hopefully they didn't stop us in our tracks. What an infuriating ability. I hope that we can finally confederate Wissenland, and then we'll never see that please build outpost thing again. Honestly, I should have just built it so that it didn't come up every turn and keep tricking me, like it did for like 50 episodes. But hey, it's only right that it continued to trick me on the anniversary episode. SIGMAR-VERSARY episode. Empire-versary. SIGMAR-VERSARY is probably the best. Empire-versary? I don't know. Oh! Another attack. Well, and if it isn't Grimgor at Karak Vrag, I was actually going to give this up. Do we want to defend this? A third battle? On an anniversary episode? Yes.
Silence and order!
Alrighty, here we go. I was once again originally thinking that we probably wouldn't bother fighting this at all and just auto-resolve it in favor of the orcs, but surprisingly, Grimgor's army really wasn't that strong. They don't have artillery, no Arachnaroks or giants, no black orcs or anything that would be really threatening if it got up on the walls. So I think we've got a reasonably decent chance of being able to hold this. We do have the advantage of the more powerful towers and buildable towers as well that SFO offers. After all, the enemy has also split its force into 3, and I hesitate to, I don't know, say that the AI is dumb for doing this, because at the same time, if it concentrates all its forces in a siege, it seems to do poorly, but if it separates all its forces in a siege, it also tends to seemingly do poorly. So I guess it's just an issue with AI trying sieges at all. Anyway, there is a ram over on this side, though not for long. We've also got a very nice position for our mortar right in the center of the city, on top of that thing. Honestly, if we had multiple mortars available, this would be pretty darn perfect for this particular map. Just set them all up here, maybe even rocket batteries up here, and then you have command of this entire portion of the map, and maybe, well, with the rocket batteries, we could probably reach back here, not the mortar, but we could always set up more mortars and other artillery pieces here. It's a pretty nice map for artillery, which is usually not the case, right? For siege defenses, usually artillery doesn't have good position, but this is one of the very few maps where artillery has a lot of very good spots, so it's quite nice. Anyway, Grimgor is starting to take damage, not that much, mind you, about 15% of his HP crumbling away. We also have our pistoliers moving around here. This is a walled location after all, so we do have those patrols that were summoned. Funnily enough, something I didn't know, if you deploy your unit up on the walls, the patrol routes get summoned in front of your hero, or the lord or whatever unit counts as summoning them, and these two patrol units were actually summoned outside of the city as if they had Vanguard deployed at the start of the battle, which is kind of interesting, and I hadn't encountered so far. Anyway, the enemies have picked up the ram with the nasty skulkers here, or I think there was another unit that was using it before the orc begins, and that has switched out with the nasty skulkers, but we'll simply switch out to them. Over on this side, we've obviously already seen the first unit carrying the ram fail, and maybe another unit will pick it up, but ultimately there's not a lot of infantry left here, and it'll be up to the trolls to very slowly break through the gates. Unfortunately, not everything is going our way, however, as the towers have failed to bring down the enemy siege tower, so they will be disgorging their troops up on top of the walls. At the same time, we got gobos climbing up there. These are forest goblins, I believe, though they should probably be far too weak to even take on basic Empire swordsmen, especially tired as they will be. And the gobos being tired, I mean, yeah, 42 and 21, the stat disparity is pretty big against swordsmen. They do have lethal poison on them, though, so that's nice for them. And here comes another blob gobbo. Though we should certainly be able to take advantage of this as well for several reasons. First of all, we have a unit of crossbows down here which can always fire into this blob. Then we have built a splash damaging tower up here. While it is a cannon tower, it does a little bit of splash damage, so if it gets a few nice shots into that blob of gobos, it can certainly dish out damage. I was hoping to use it to bring down the tower together with our range units, but it looks like it's not going to happen. 25 HP remaining is just too much. Grimgor's lost a little bit over half HP and is now climbing after taking hits from those pistoliers, which have managed to rip apart an enemy unit of goblin wolf riders together with our towers. Over on this side, it looks like the last of the enemy infantry have been broken as well, between our towers and our own range units up on the walls, and now we're going to be switching to to targeting the enemy trolls. Alrighty, so far not a lot of damage taken, and the enemy hasn't really achieved anything. And there we go, as we can see, the tower is absolutely ripping apart those poor gobos that were in such a large blob here. Grimgor is about to make it up on top of the wall, so we're going to move the handgunners away. And, ooh, what the heck was that? Oh, he activated the Bloodforged armor, yeah. Alrighty, well, Grimgor is obviously a huge threat even without the Immortals. We do have the crossbowmen, which will be firing at him, and we've moved the handgunners away to hopefully fire at him in the sides as well, and it does look like they will be able to. There we go. That's not a great position for Grimgor, as he also is taking additional armor-piercing damage from those halberdiers. Alright, come on, handgunners. That is a big damn work, though. I feel like every time I see... Ah, damn. Moved away just as the handgunners fired. Every time I see Grimgor, I'm always thinking this guy is absolutely the biggest lad. Not for long, though. He's down to 1.3k HP, and every volley from those handguns drops him. Damn. Okay, so he basically just lost 1,000 HP with a single volley, and down he drops. Alrighty, with Grimgor down for the count, the enemy bounce power is down to about 20%, and it looks like, I think, all of them will be routing shortly, especially as we continue additional range support with our crossbows and with our handgunners. While the handgunners are firing into these forest goblins, the crossbows, at least, are still helping out here. And it looks like that's it. I hear the horns of retreat. These orc boys are shattered, and so the rest of the army will give it up as well. Fantastic. And it looks like all of those trolls, 4 units of trolls in the enemy army, none of them really achieved anything whatsoever, as it just was going to take too long to break down those gates, as this is SFO. After all, I do like that aspect, though, that the gates actually mean something, because in vanilla, the gates mean absolutely nothing, as you can just use absolutely any unit to rather quickly break through them. And I always felt a little bit silly. Although I do feel like maybe there needs to still be a bit of adjustment in SFO, like make certain units, like the bonuses to breaking down gates and walls, well, maybe more so gates than walls, even higher, like giants and bloodthirsters, things like that, the just really big units. Or ancient stags or something like that. It does feel like they should be getting through those gates a little bit quicker than they are, but everything else taking a while is fine. Like, I could absolutely see a massive steel door like this keeping out the trolls for a while. Especially as they don't have a ram, and all they can do is bonk it. But anyway, let's speed it up as we chase down the rest of the enemy units as best we can. Obviously, we don't want them coming back and annoying us. Not that we really care about the territory, mind you, but just to not have to deal with them again. We will still have to send an army down here, because clearly Goldtooth are too incompetent to finish the faction off. So yeah, that's not going to change matters, but hey, a heroic victory and a nice little third battle is still very nice to see. Alright, and a heroic victory for the nameless defenders here, and now we've acquired Grimgor, Imrik, and the Demon Prince all in one episode. Heck of a SIGMAR-VERSARY special, I think. Let's see whether we can head towards the end of the turn without another battle, which is what I'd like, so I can do the admin between the episodes, and yes indeed, by the looks of it, we can. Alright, so Order of Lore Masters, ally mobilizes, Nagaron's Confederated Clark Charon, not that we particularly care about that. Creator, ready for duty. Hey, Roddy is back. Well, that's just lovely. And you can head down to get back to Marcus. You did your duty, though. And there we go. Technology researched, finally. I've been talking about manorialism forever. And this turn, okay, I guess I miscounted. Maybe it's next turn that Visenland should confederate. Oh, someday, people, someday. Anyway, with that, we are obviously well and out of time, and I am going to call the episode here. Next time, well, we see what we have to do and where we have to go in terms of our current situation, but I assume that there will be plenty of choices to be made in terms of advancing, so we will keep advancing until we hit that endgame. Stay tuned for more Empire. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.